The issue isn't that you aren't qualified. The issue is your resume is not doing its job. And today I'm going to share with you the resume strategy I share with my clients to help them land six-figure jobs, but not just any six-figure job, a job they actually love, that feels aligned, that feels exciting to wake up to on a Monday morning. So let's get into it. Oh, and what I'm also going to share is what you should stop doing. Today I did a free resume class and I realized people still were making a lot of basic mistakes on the resume. So let me knock out those mistakes really quickly with you to make sure you aren't making those same mistakes. Number one, formatting. Leave the Canva templates alone, please, with the colors and the graphs and the 3 columns and you're all over the place. Stop it. Your resume should look dry. Yes, I said it should be boring. The color you could add to it, you could maybe change your name to a blue, do a little color blocking for the header sections, nothing major. But listen, I like that nice 1-column resume, and I've seen recruiters talk about it. I've seen hiring managers talk about it. They like that format as well. So keep it nice and clean, that 1-column format, and leave all the Canva templates alone unless you are, let's say, in the creative field or you're a graphic designer and you want to show them what you're working with. That could work. But for everybody else, please leave the crazy templates alone. Another quick tip: 2, do not put the year you graduated from college. It is nobody's business how old you are, okay? And sometimes, because people just have subconscious biases, they might start saying, oh, is this person too old for this role? Or is this person too young for this role? Another thing, you might have 20 years of work experience, but let's leave about 10 to 15 years showcased on the resume, because when you start to put way too much, people start to think you might be outdated or automatically just not a good fit. Now, another strategy that I want to make sure you are not using is putting your degree in education too far to the top. Nobody cares about that right now. What they do care about is your experience, your skills, what you do better than anybody else, how you're going to come in here and kill it for the company. That is the focus. So make sure your resume has the right organizational structure. Also, not put their address, ding, ding, ding. The thing with putting your address is it locks you into that location. Now, if you are looking for mostly remote roles or you're open to moving, don't put any location at all. Just put your name at the top, then put your email written out, put your LinkedIn, and put your phone number. That's it. Now, if you're looking to get hired for a role that's more local and you don't mind, or close to the city that you're already in, go ahead and put that city and state at the top. So back to structure. How I like to structure my resumes with my clients is have their name at the top, have that information with the phone number and email and LinkedIn next. And then I like to do a professional summary, and I like to title it. So if you are a technical manager, I will say technical manager professional summary. Simple. Already putting the title of the role you're going for right at the top brainwashes people into thinking you're the person for the role. Very simple, but there's a lot of subconscious things you do in the resume that makes people feel like, yes, they're the right person for the role. And I'll share more of that going forward. Once you have that really strong description at the top or professional summary at the top, what you want to do is then have your skills. And please, here's another tip. Do not put Microsoft Office. Do not put Dropbox or Google Drive. These are skills that everyone expects you to know by now. In the skills section, we are putting skills that are actually sought after for the role. So make sure your skills section is rich and aligned with the types of, skills that the company's actually looking for. You'd be shocked how many resumes I see that just have a plethora of skills listed, but the skills do not match up with what companies are actually looking for. So make sure your skills section makes sense. Then, depending on what you're trying to do, I like to have a project section. Sometimes my clients might be transitioning from one industry to another. I met someone today who's going from interior design all the way to clinical research, and that is quite the leap. So showcasing projects that can help the person reading your resume see that you are indeed an incredible fit is a really good look. Even if you are going for roles that are similar to the role you're already in, having a project section can be really powerful because it's an area where you can share, I am a high achiever, look at what I've done, and the person reading gets that quick snapshot of your greatness. Now, the next session is professional work experience or just work experience. Fill that in and we'll come back to that and how you need to be positioning yourself. And once you do work experience, I like to have volunteer work and then education very last. Now, here's the thing. Your resume, about 2 pages. I used to be a stickler for 1 page, but now 2 pages, accepted. Not a big deal. So you're going to have 2 pages if you had 10 years of experience. And if you could fit it into 1, go ahead and do that. Now, what you need to understand is the following. Your resume is not a catch-all for everything you've ever done. You want people to read your bullet points and read your job titles and say, wow, this person is the right person for this role. Something I actually like to do as well is if I was working at a company or my client's working at a company where the role of the title might be quirky, or they really did more and over and beyond that role, or what they did in that last role is closer to what they're going for, but they were not given that title. What I like to do is actually say the title of the role I'm going for. So let's say technical project manager, and then I would put in parentheses next to it something like maybe technical program coordinator or technical lead. You were doing technical program management work, but you were not given that title. And I'm still being honest because I'm big on honesty. Do not lie on your resume. I like to still retain the original title, but just to do the translating and the heavy lifting for the person reading it, I go ahead and put into the title of the role I'm going for. Notice how you want to make the recruiter or hiring manager's job as easy as possible. You do not want them to have to think for you. Guess what? They're not going to. They're looking at quite a few resumes, but you want to make it so clear that, oh my goodness, you are the person for the job. That's where those bullet points that are impact driven and quantified make it really easy for people to see that you are that girl, that you absolutely are the perfect person for the role. Make sure you are not listing responsibilities. I know you've heard this a lot, but are you actually doing anything about it? Also, if you are not sure of the impact that you've had in your role, see, first of all, that's the problem. That's why we're here, because you are not paying attention to your career. You are waking up, walking through that thing like a zombie, instead of asking on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, once a project is wrapped up, what the key KPIs were, which actually you should know, but that's a conversation for another day. Let's just say you were so caught up in the weeds, you weren't tracking certain things, or you weren't keeping track of how well the project went, right? Or the project has rolled off now and you just forgot to really get in the weeds of the data collection because that was someone else's role, but you still played a big role on that project. Go back and send an email, ask, and get the data, and then put it on your resume. And from here on out, as you do work, what should you be doing? You should have a brag file. You should have a place where as soon as you're winning, as soon as you collect another win, right? Got to catch them all. Put it away, file it away. And you can even have a master resume where you dump everything you've ever done, right? Everything, right? You can even put your awards from 5th grade. I don't care. Go ahead and put that on there. But then when you have to build your resume that's going to the world, you can pull from that master resume so that no matter what role you're going for, you have different projects and different things you've implemented that can speak to what the team that's reading your resume is looking for. Here's another really big thing with strategizing on your resume. Look at 3 jobs that you want that are in the same field, same role. Read the job description. Shoo. Feed them into ChatGPT and say, hey, yo, ChatGPT, I am going for a new role. I am redoing my resume. I want to make sure the way I talk about my projects and my accomplishments utilizes and leverages the language that hiring managers are using in the job description. Can you read these 3 job descriptions and find 15 to 20 words and phrases that are repeated over and over and over again? Once you do that, guess what? ChatGPT will tell you what those phrases are and tell you what those words are, and you make sure they're in your resume. Guess what? You already have these skills. Guess what? You've already done these things. But now you know what words to use to talk about these things. So that when hiring managers read your resume, guess what they say? Wow, this is exactly what we were looking for. Wow, this person can do exactly what we need them to do because you use the words they asked you to. I know, really easy. But you'd be shocked how many people put resumes together and completely ignore all of this advice. So I'm here to give you the game to make sure your resume is tight. Before you touch your resume, before you touch your resume, right? Make sure you take time to take stock of your skills, your gifts, your talents, your passions, which you do better than anybody else. I promise you, subconsciously, especially if you've been overlooked for a promotion or people have downplayed how good you are actually hiding, yes, hiding gifts and talents from yourself. Yes, lying right underneath the surface. So take some time to excavate those and reflect. Think about past roles, things you did in past roles that you loved. Take some time to reflect. And then go about your business and make that resume shine. Now, if you need help figuring out your career, if you need help getting more clarity, feel free to connect with me. I'm the only East Mamaladi Joby on LinkedIn. And if you don't already know, I am a career growth strategist helping Black women like yourself land their dream jobs, live rich, fulfilling lives, and get paid very well to do so.